Yeah. What's up, guys? Monster coming at you with another Master video. I know it's been a minute, and I also know that I promised a Grand Blue video, and that will be getting recorded after this video. But first, I had to talk about another Master Duel video, and this one, I'm playing something that I never thought I'd touch. Never thought I'd be playing this deck. In that deck, for the people who don't know, this is Mathmech. Now, before I get into this and start talking about this deck a little bit in the intro before we go to the first replay, I will say, I know you're supposed to be running more than one circular. I know. I only have one, and I had the option of choosing between a second circular and a Max C, and a certain bigger YouTuber than me told me to go for Max C and Ash. I don't know if I'll be getting a third Ash, just because I know you're supposed to run 3 of both of them, but I'm just like, bro, I'd rather run 2, because 2 in some decks is better than 3. So at the current moment, I only have 1 circular. Now, it doesn't impact it as much because you can search it out a lot easier in this deck with stuff like small worlds, with silent mining. There's a lot of ways to get into your 1 circular. So running this and more than 1, I know would probably be better. I know that, and the only reason I'm saying that is because, you know, some people in the comments will be like, well, you should probably run more than 1 circular, that'd probably help. I'm like, yeah, I know that. Circular is a very good card. I just only have 1, and I haven't gotten the UR credits to craft the second one. So that's the reason that I have not put a second circular and a third circular in here. I know, they just had to get it out the way. But besides that, yeah, just playing some typical Mathmech. One thing I did add from the homie Converge, you know, I shout him out all his videos because I get a lot of my tech from him, and he's very open with sharing it, and I appreciate that. One thing I watched in his video was that he had the Rivalry of Warlords, and I was not playing this initially, and in a lot of these replays, I can't remember if I took these replays that are going to be in this video after I started getting better with the deck, but there were a lot of replays where I was first playing the deck and I was making a lot more misplays because I was learning Mathmech for the very first time. And I think these replays that I'm going to show are going to be post me adding Rivalry of Warlords, where I was actually getting a lot more fluid with the combo. And I actually, as soon as I put this card in, I went into a duel, and I'll have a replay of this where I put Rivalry in, and the immediate reason that I put it in happened in that duel, which is, for the people who don't know, and you know, you're too lazy to go watch that part of the video and you're just copying the deck list and leaving. Rivalry of Warlords reasons in here is for your ability to limit your opponent, because what Rivalry does is each player can only control 1 type of monster, send all other face of monsters they control to the graveyard. So if you play Mathmech, you're going to be playing nothing but Cypresses, pretty much. Now, the thing that Rivalry Warlords does that it doesn't say in the card text, but it's actually the reason you're playing it in this, is that Rivalry of Warlords stops you from Kaijus. Now, if you want to talk about why, I don't know why. Either watch Converge's video on his Mathmech deck, I think he talked about it in there. If he didn't, somebody in the comments who's a lot smarter Yu-Gi-Oh can let me know. But all I know is that Rivalry of Warlord stops you from getting Kaiju, and that exact thing stopped, or it happened in the game where I didn't get Kaiju because of it. But let's not waste any more time and get into the first replay. Alright, and we're back. First replay right here, Mathmech. We got Silent Mining, Cross Out, Super Factorial, Parallel Seed, which is always a good card to have in your opening hand, and then Gamma, which we're going against a Tearlaments, which is not good, and we're going second. One good thing though, we have Gamma, and I'm going to choose my Gamma target in this very wisely. And I was like, okay, boom, he's targeting the kit to send in the grave. I was like, no, I'm gonna Gamma that. I'm stopping that. Because if he doesn't, yeah, he gets to drop the top 5, but he's already milled his deck a little bit. So I was like, all right, hopefully he just doesn't hit anything off this mill. He didn't, but you see right here, he has a Kaiju in his deck because he's playing Tears and there's water. So I'm like, okay, that was a good Gamma because he didn't hit anything off of his mill. Now, you probably maybe a better Gamma target in the Tear deck, but I was just like, I'm going to save the Gamma for something important. And I was like, we're going to hit the kit. Because if he doesn't hit anything off that mill when it goes to grave, then his whole combo screwed. And everybody knows a lot of their tier cards need a Tearlaments monster on field. So I was like, alright, cool. Draw. We draw Dotscaper, which is very good. Now, we go into Silent Mining, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to go grab... Circular, but he hit me with Ash. But I think he detected that I had the call by. or not the call, but the cross out, because I didn't care. I was gonna cross it out, but I think he said that he had nothing else he could do because all of his tier cards are engraved and he has no tier cards on field. So if that's like Celiac, I think it doesn't activate, so he couldn't really do anything, and I pretty much had full combo. So that's game number 1. Just a real quick short game of a tier player folding. You love to see it. All right, let's get into replay number 2. All right, in for game 2, super factorial, imperm, cyanide mining, and then we had Nabla and Subtractor. So we go cyanide mining to grab the circular, no ash, no nothing. All right, cool. Circular, drop Sigma. Sigma brings itself back out. Circular grabs a super factorial normally, but since I had super factorial already in my hand, we went and grabbed equation. Equation, add that to hand. These two go into Alimbertion. Alimbertion will drop, and normally what I add to hand is the diameter so that you can use it and send it to grave for the what's the card called? The summon of Laplacian. And Laplacian with diameter's effect, for the people who don't know, gives, if you use diameter with super factorial to go into Laplacian, that will get you an omni negate with Laplacian. So that's the reason you use diameter in the super factorial combo. So I was like, all right, boom, we got equation. Bring equation out. Equation will tribute, or no, Nabla will bring out, well, Nabla will come back off of equation. With Nabla, we will tribute the Alimbertion, because none of these cards that I needed to special summon by tributing the Alimbertion, because I was like, all right, this needs to be normal summoned. If this was normal or special summoned, then I would use Alimbertion to bring back diameter, but it's not. Subtraction can just subtract the attack of anything by 1,000 to special summon itself, and I already had addition engraved, so I was like, or no, I think I brought addition from deck off of Nabla, tribute summon, yeah, from your deck. So I was like, all right, we're just throwing more Mathmech cards in the graveyard at this point. Go into Splash Mage, the circular, negate, or not negate, lower the Splash Mage with subtraction. One thing you need to do, be very careful where you're placing cards, because as you know, in a link deck, some of your arrows will come into play, so it's very cautious where you need to do certain things. We're going to the link decoder, because link decoder and Splash Mage go into the transcode. Transcode will bring back Splash Mage, and because you lose link decoder on the link summon of something with 2300 or more attack, it brings itself back. Transcode will then summon it down below it, so that's why you need it to be careful of when you summon the link decoder, because if you summon the link decoder, like if you change one of these into link decoder after you brought transcode, it takes up the space underneath it, then now you're screwed and you've cut some of your plays out. So that's why it's very important when you do it. That goes into the Tri-Heart. Tri-Heart would then drop a Dotscaper off of its effect to drop a Cyburst from deck to grave, a Cyburst from deck or extra deck to grave. Then, like I said, we brought out or we send Dotscaper. Dotscaper brings itself back. Then we normal summon Diameter, because we have normal summon yet. Diameter just bring back any level 4, yeah, level 4 Cyberse monster, and we got a bunch and it didn't really matter, so we just brought back addition. Bring those two out to go into the Golem. Golem brings back transcode, and using transcode, Golem, and then what was the last card? Subtraction. We go into Singularity. Now that goes into Link Garibo, and I just went Link Garibo because I was like, just in case he's playing a trap deck, because there are people who play lab, so I was like, just in case you didn't need to do this last one, you could have just left that in defense, but I was like, Link Garibo might get some use. And unironically, in this very replay, there's going to be a situation where if he wasn't playing a certain type of trap card that didn't let me respond to it, I could have negated it. But we got Super Factorial, we got Imperm, we just dropped the Save Worm, which is a spell. Is it spell specifically, or spell and trap? Spell and trap negate or effect while you control a level 4 or higher Cyberse monster. So it's a spell and trap negate. So we got that, we got Imperm, we got Singularity, who can bounce a card from field or grave. Hit this card, no, where's it at? You can target cards your opponent controls or in their graveyard up to the number of different cards types, ritual, fusion, synchro you control and in your graveyard. So right now we have Link isn't counted, but we have a fusion right here, and we have an Exceed monster off of the where is he at? the alum version, so that's two bounces. I need to remember that because sometimes I'd be thinking Link counts even though Link isn't one of them. But he goes into the triple tactics thrust, and this is why I sent it to save for him, because I'm like, alright, he tactics me, I gotta stop that. And I said that so specifically I'm letting all this next stuff go through because I am worried about that tactics. Tactics is the card that can potentially screw me here. So he's going into just some straight heroes plays, which is rare you see a heroes player. He goes on the Sunrise, typical heroes, he draws 2, Miracle Fusion, drops the Crosskeeper, the Emergency Call, Blaze Man, Miracle Fusion, into the Great Tornado, which is a card you don't see normally. Must be fusion summoned and cannot be special summoned by other ways. If this card is fusion summoned, have the attack and defense of all face-up monsters your opponent controls. Now when I got hit by this, I thought that it was only defense, but it was both. And then this says you can banish this card, draw 2, and then place 1 card from your hand on the bottom of your deck. So just to draw 2, my bad, and then you get to get rid of something bad. He goes into DDR Dimension, and then he goes into Stratos and uses the spell and trap pop effect. So I was like, alright, now we gotta go into Super Factorial. So I go in Super Factorial. He has fucking Red Reboot. When your opponent activates a trap card, negate the activation if you do set that card face down, and they can set 1 other trap directly from their deck for the rest of this turn. After this card resolves, your opponent cannot activate traps. You can activate this card from your hand by paying half your life points. Now, let me know if this should have worked and it just didn't, but since the save worm says when your opponent activates a spell/trap or effect, you can negate it. And this is a counter trap, so maybe it doesn't work on counter traps, but I was like, he played this from the hand, he didn't have it set, and I was like, why can't I negate that with the save worm? And I thought maybe in the card text it said this card cannot be negated, but I don't see anything. So y'all let me know for sure why I wasn't able to negate that off the save worm. But yeah, he negates my Super Factorial. I set the Rivalry of Warlords, but because he just play Stratos' destruction of spells and traps, all my traps are gone. So I'm like, fuck. He goes to Soldier through Tales of the Noble Knights. He goes into the regular Neos. He goes into Honest, and I'm like, shit, he's gonna battle me. So I was like, now I gotta activate Firewall, Dragon Singularity, which I thought I was only going to be able to send 1, but it let me send 2, and I was like, oh shit. That saved me, because if he didn't, he could have attacked me with a Great Tornado. And if I didn't get rid of Sunrise, what he does is when this card is declaring, when an attack is declared involving a hero monster you control, target 1 card on your field, destroy it. And I don't think I have any defenses engraved. Yeah, I don't, so I would have had to get one of my cards destroyed. That isn't a Firewall card, but basically any card would have got destroyed pretty much. These 2, if I had a defender or defensor, whichever one is called, they would have got protected. But then he goes for the triple tactics. I'm like, okay, what are you gonna do? If you're trying to take one of my cards, I'm gonna disable worm you. But he goes for the draw 2. I was like, okay, I'll stop whatever he does next if it's a problem. Then he goes into the polymerization. I'm like, no, you can't have any more targets for poly anymore. I was like, you can't have any more fusions you can go into after this. I'm pretty sure he used 2, if not 3 polymerizations. So I was like, bro, you don't have much left at this point. So I just go ahead and get that out of there, and then he surrenders because he's stuck. He knows next turn I just swing with the terahertz and I just kill him for 8,000 if I don't want to flex. But yeah, that's it. So let's go ahead and get into replay number 2. Alright, we're back in the replay number 3. 2 defensors, yeah, it is defensor. 2 defensors in hand, a Gamma, a Silent Mining, and Thrust, which going first isn't the worst hand possible because defender gives you combo, but having the Silent Mining just made this sweeter because I didn't even have to waste my normal summon yet. So circular, same stuff that we did last. He has a Serener though, which is a problem. So I was like, well, at least he activated the monster effect, so we're going to Thrust into Talent. I was like, let me snipe a card out of his hand. And I'm pretty sure I was in the Discord with Converge when we were going against this, and he was like, ooh yeah, his hand's kind of fucking cracked. He got a Bestial Rebellion, he got an Albion the Shrouded Dragon, he got fucking Branded in High Spirits and Fusion Deployment. So I was like, ooh yeah, no, this is gonna be tough. I was like, get that Fusion Deployment out of his hand. Splash Mage, Splash Mage, Defensor used in the Link Summon brings out Firewall Guardian, bring out that. Now we go into Transcode. Defender brings itself back. No, that's Guardian. I haven't used my other Defensor. Guardian will bring itself back, bring back Splash Mage. This goes into the Terahertz. Drop the Dotscaper. Dotscaper comes out. This goes into Golem. Golem brings itself back, or brings out Transcode. And I was like, what do I go into about this? You can't really go into the Singularity because I would have needed one more monster with another. I would have needed one more Link material basically. And I was like, fuck, I can't even go into it because it's a rank 6 or a Link 6, whatever the hell you want to call it. But I was like, ah, fuck, I guess I gotta go to Heat Soul. Go to Heat Soul, draw one. Alright, cool, we got the addition. At the beginning of this turn, activate Heat Soul to draw another one just in case, and then we go into the Save Worm again. You can do that a turn earlier, but I do normally the Dotscaper just to try to get some more advantage if I have a hand that can potentially go into the Singularity, but I was one card short. So then he goes Gold Sark. Gold Sark's the Macorier, Fallen of Albaz, and drops it for the Bastille Billion, grabs Magna Hut, banishes my Save Worm before I can use it, so I don't got a Spell and Trap negate anymore. And I'm just like, yeah, at this point I'm kind of screwed. He has the ability to do whatever the fuck he wants, and I can't stop it. Goes into the Dust Dragon, drops Branded in White, drops Titaniclad, brings out Blubellion. Branded Lost comes back, puts Branded in White in his hand. Fallen of Albaz goes into Mirror Jade. Mirror Jade banish. Now I'm open for attack. And I'm pretty sure he could have brought out Kid if he wanted to, but it wasn't a need. I was dead. Just an unfortunate set of events. The Bastilles are the one thing that if your opponent doesn't wreck on them, and especially playing Mathmech, they just have the ability to screw up your hand completely. But let's go ahead and get into that fourth and final replay. Alright, for the fourth and final replay, I thought I'd show off, you know, the game I was talking about in the beginning with the Rivalry Warlords, where it actually came in useful. And like I said, this was literally the game after I watched the video and saw him play it. I was like, I'm gonna put this in just in case I go against somebody and get Kaiju. And lo and behold, the fucking game I put this in, it was useful. So like I said, circular combo, go into this super factorial this time, since our since our Sigma didn't get banished by a Bastille. Diameter. Now I was like, what do I want to do here? And this is where in this game I made the mistake that I said in the other replay not to do, which is to special summon Diameter, because as you know, you cannot get the effect off of special summon, only normal summon. So I was like, alright, let me just go Link Decoder, and Link Decoder will go into the Parallel Exceed, brings out 2 Parallel Exceeds, goes into Splash Mage. Good thing about Splash Mage is he doesn't require where he summons the monster to go to a Link Zone. So I was like, alright, we're good here. Bring back the Parallel Exceed, these 2 go into Transcode. Now this is, like I said, where you make that problem. I didn't activate Transcode first, or I didn't activate him last in the chain so he could activate first, and then this happens. Oh wait, no, that was a different replay. Okay, my bad. I forgot when you summon the Link Decoder, you can choose where he is because he's a Link monster. He doesn't just go automatically to the zone of the Link monster that's on the field. Yeah, that's the one thing about the Link Decoder. That's good. If you did any other Link card like that, or if you did any other normal monster special summoning itself, it would have went under the Link Zone, I'm pretty sure. But then we go into the Tempest. Tempest will drop the Guardian. The reason I didn't drop the Dotscaper is because I had it in hands and I can special summon it, and I was like, alright, cool, special summon Dotscaper. Terahertz, or not Terahertz, the Golem. Golem brings it back out Dotscaper, or not Golem brings out Dotscaper, I'm fucking up. Golem comes out, Dotscaper brings itself back because it was used as a Link summon. That brings out the Transcode, and then we go into Singularity again. Now we have Super Factorial, we have Rivalry Warlords, and Call by the Grave with the Firewall and Terahertz and Singularity. And if I'm messing up the combo, let me know. But that was just like the basic combo for Mathmech that I got taught when I was learning the deck. So I was like, alright, cool. I activated Rivalry Warlords because I'm not wanting to get Kaiju. I know to activate that first. before anything else, drop the disable worm just in case. Triple tactics talent, and then taking one of my monsters. This is why I put the disable worm in grave. Because yeah, no, fuck talents, because that has happened to me too many times where I activate terahertz and then get hit with the, what is it called? Get hit with the triple tactics. Now he goes into the ice barrier off Foolish Burial Goods. Ice barrier, he grabs the kaiju, but he can't use it on me because of Rivalry Warlords. But unfortunately, he did have the Ocean Dragon Kaijus, which I've always hated this card, but I was fucked with the design because the design is cool, but I hate him just because of the floodgate off of Umi. But what Firewall Singularity does, like I said, if you have an Exceed, which I do, and if you have a Fusion, which I do not have anymore, I would have had the Fusion if my Disable Worm that I didn't use earlier, I would have been able to bounce 2 cards back. Now I don't know, it says you could target that Cybers, or no, it says, oh, this says if a monster this card points to is destroyed or sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 Cybers monster in your grave, special summon. So I'm about to special summon, but I still can do this, or the quick effect of targeting your opponent's cards. So it's not just monsters, it's cards. So if I didn't banish my Disable Worm to negate the triple tactics, I could have used it to bounce 2 cards back anyway. But we're bringing back the Golem just because I was like, fucking bring something back, and my options weren't too plentiful. I couldn't bring back Terahertz or anything. So I was like, we're gonna bounce that back to hand, go into Super Factorial because he has card on field. He has 2 cards on field and card in hand, so I'll only be able to use 2 cards for the effect of Laplacian, but it's no problem. I have 3 zones. Go into Laplacian. He has his Omni Negate because he was using Diameter. I dropped 2. We're gonna send a card from hand and field to grave, and I was like, just send a spell. He had nothing else he could do. That was the game. Rivalry Warlords came in fucking clutch, because I definitely would have been fucked right there. I definitely would have got kaiju'd, and just my whole board would have got broke after that, and I'd have got stuck in the Umi floodgate. But luckily we were able to play through it and actually win that game. So alright, let's go back to the deck and do a deck profile real quick and just see how the deck functions and why. I explained some of the cards already, but talk about the rest of them. Alright, we're back in the deck, and let's just go over this real quick. Most of the stuff I explained in there, but I'll just go over some of the cards that maybe didn't appear in the in multiple replays. We got the Cyframe driver for the get 2 gamma, standard stuff. We got draw and lock just in case I need to stop my opponent from drawing cards. But just remember, draw and lock affects you as well. You cannot draw cards, which if you're going for the standard link packet, link climbing with this deck, won't affect you very much. The way that this card really affects you is if you try to go Allen Version and Laplacian after activating Duel, because then you won't be able to 1, pick up Super Factorial, and 2, I'm pretty sure that off of Allen Version, add a Mathmech from deck to hand, you won't be able to do that either. So you have to be wary of that for sure. I've never used the other part of this effect, even though I think in some scenarios maybe I should have, but normally I just go for the standard link climbing stuff to go into Fluid and Singularity. But yeah, that's draw. 1 Dotscaper just for the send off of the terahertz, just so that you can continue to go into Singularity. Then 1 Microcoder, which if a Cybers monster you control would be used as a link material for a Code Talker monster, which is the Decoder and the, or no, it's not Decoder, it's the Transcode Talker. That's what he's used for. That's the only, I think, Code Talker monster you are playing in this deck. Yeah, I think that's the only Code Talker monster we're playing. Or I guess Decode Talker. I never used it for Decode Talker Hitsu, but I guess also an Access Code Talker. So you're playing a three cards you can use that for. But normally I only ever really went into Transcode with it because I normally like didn't get that far or didn't have it in my hand and was like, damn, I need to have this card used for something like Hitsu or Ass Code Talker. Access Code. I don't know why I said Ass Code. But yeah, that's the why Dotscaper is in here. You just normally want to use it off of Disable Worm. Worst case, if you get it in hand, it's just a free. If you can link it away, you use it. Microcoder, like I said, you use this for material. This is sent from your hand or field to graveyard as link material, as material for a link summon of a Code Talker. You can either add a Signet spell / trap from your deck to your hand, or if this card on the field with you as a material, you can add one level 4 Cypress monster instead. I normally never use the if it's used for a code talker, add a silent spell, because the only silent spell you really have is silent mining. I was in an older version of this playing more silent cards because I was playing more link. I was playing more access code stuff, or not access code, code talker stuff, but we're playing a much more mathemech stuff in this. 3 maxis, typical. We talked about the Cypher and Gamma. Ibli. We are playing Ibli, because when you normal summon this card, you can target a linked monster in your grave, special summon it to your field, so it points to this card, but it changes its attack to 0, also negate its effect, and then obviously when you link Ibli away, if this card is in its owner's control or sent to the graveyard, you can special summon this card to your opponent's field in defense position. You can only use this once per turn. So standard Ibli lock stuff. 2 ashes. Code generator. If a cyber monster you control would be used as material, you can use this card as well. This card in your hand can be used as material. If this sent from hand or field to grave as material for a link summon of a code talker, you can send 1 cyber monster with 12,000 or less attack from deck to grave, which would be good for Dotscaper and any other like stuff. Like, I think, yeah, you can use Defensor. This is 12,000 or less, so you can send Defensor. That's a good card. Guardian is off of Defensor. When you send this card to grave, you can special summon, or when you send this to the grave off of link summon, you can special summon 1 firewall monster from your deck, which is Defensor. Defensor is your only other firewall monster that you're playing in the main deck. Sigma is, if this card is in your graveyard, you can or hand, you can special summon it if you have no link monsters in your extra monster zone, or basically any monsters in your extra monster zone. You can special summon this, but it will be banished. So normally what we do is we go into Alimbersion, which if you use this the effect and then go into Exceed, it won't banish it, it'll just send it to grave. So that's how you get around banishing this card and having 3 Mathmech cards in grave for your super factorial. Nabla, tribute 1 special summon a Mathmech monster from your deck, and if this card sent to grave, you can target 1 Cypress monster you control in the extra monster zone. It can make up to 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase. Does Sigma have anything else? Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except Cybers, and then you can only activate this once per turn. If this card you control is used as a synchro material for a Mathmech monster, you can treat it as a non-tuner. I've never used that part of its effect before, but good to know. Addition, basically, you can add 1,000 attack to a monster on the field, special summon this card out, and then for the rest of the turn you can only summon special summon Cybers. Same with subtraction, just except you're taking 1,000 away. Diameter, when this card is normal summoned, you can target 1 level 4 Cypress monster in your graveyard, special summon it, but it can't activate its effects. A Mathmech monster that was used as synchro or exceed summoned using this card on the field as material gains the effect. Once per turn during this card, or once per turn during the turn this card was special summoned, when your opponent activates a card or effect, you can negate that effect. So it's an omni negate only on that turn, but when you use super factorial, you can make it whatever turn you need the omni negate on. So that's why you're running the 1 diameter, and that's why that card's really good. Circular drops a Sigma to grave so that you can go into your whole Alimbersion super factorial location strategy. Defensor is sent to grave. Like we said, we special summon Firewall Guardian off this being sent to grave as a link material. You can special summon monsters the turn you activate this effect, except Cyber monsters. If a Firewall monster would be, or if a firewall monster you control would be destroyed by card effect, you can banish this from your graveyard instead. So that means that your dark fluid and your singularity can get protected off of that. So that's why Defensors at 3 is really good, and also it gets you into Guardian. We all know what Parallel Exceed does. If this card is special summoned by the effect of Parallel Exceeds, it becomes a level 4 and its original attack and defense are halved. You can only use 1 of these effects. If this card is link summoned, you can special summon this card from your hand to the zone that link monster points to. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can special summon, or if it's normal or special summoned, you can special summon 1 Parallel Exceed from your deck. You run 3 just so that you never draw 1 in your hand and you're screwed. Ignister, not a card that the Gachiri Gachiri Ignister, not a card I saw a lot of people run. I don't even think Converge is running it in his, but he told me to run it because of the you can target one cyber effect monster you control, negate its effects, and if you do special summon this from your hand, if this card is sent to the grave, it's sent from the field to grave, you can target one face-up monster you control that is unaffected by your opponent. Then wait. If this card is sent from field to grave, you can target one face-up monster you control. That target is unaffected by your opponent's card effects until the end of your opponent's turn. So if you, at the end of your turn, use a Gachiri Ignister go into the Dark Fluid, normally that's what happens. It will now be unaffected by card effects until the end of your opponent's turn. And that did come in handy one time. So that's why that's in there. We run Nib just for any time you go second and draw and you're going against a combo deck like Branded and Synchros, anything out there right now. That's just to go with a clear board. 2 Cyanide Minings because they limited Cyanide Mining to 2. Mathmech Equation is just something else to grab if you have Super Factorial in hand and you are using Circular's effect. Small World just to get into your Circular more, especially with me only playing it at 1. You have to know the bridges for Small World, and I sometimes fuck it up. Sometimes I can get into it, but sometimes like I fuck it up because I forget you need 2 bridges. You need the one in your hand and the one in the deck to then go into the Circular. So sometimes I fuck up the bridge to get in the Circular, and I'm like, fucked it. But when you can do it right, you're generally good. 2 called buys, 1 cross out, standard maxi shit. Imperm, just cause I needed more spaces to fill. I could drop the 2 Imperms honestly and play this at 40. And Super Factorial, like I said, we all know why it's in here. It's to get into the relation with the Omni Negate, and also to send a random card from your opponent's hand, send a monster your opponent controls, and a spell or trap to the graveyard. And we talked about Rivalry and we saw what it did. It stopped me from getting Kaiju. So this is actually a very good card in those very niche scenarios. You run against a Kaiju and you won't get Kaiju. I don't know if it works against stuff like Lava Golem, what's it called, Spear Mode. If it does, that's really good. That's really good. But I think it won't work against at least not Spear. Well, I don't know, maybe, because I think the whole way it stops it is because it stops them from being summoned to the field because you only can control one type of monster. And I guess unless they're that monster that they would tribute summon on your side of the field is the same type, then I think you're good. I think. Don't quote me on that though. Might be wrong on that. But then let's go into the extra deck real quick. Fairly simple shit. The Save Worm, Spell and Trap. If you send Spell and Trap Negate, if you send it off of the Dark Fluid, Laplation, going to the Super Factorial, Alimbertion. Normally you're using Circular and Sigma to go into that. You can go into it with other Exceed level 4s, but normally that's what you go into it with. The Mirrologic Aggregator. This is a monster negate. You can target. If you can send one monster from your extra deck to graveyard, you can target monsters in your graveyard up to the number of materials this card has. That's the normal effect. Hold on. If you do attach, if this card is sent to grave, you can target one face-up card on the field and negate its effects until the end of the turn. So that's a monster negate, but you gotta remember, it's as soon as this card gets sent to the grave. So you want to activate this, like, say they summon something, you want to activate this in response to that summon. Like if they're going to activate Brand Diffusion, you're going to want to send Aggregator before it resolves, because if you send it afterwards, then it won't negate the effect immediately or as soon as it hits the field. You want to send this first so that it negates that monster. But that's just the one thing with Aggregator you got to be careful of. Don't send it beforehand. Don't send it afterwards. You need to send it right before you need it. Link Spider, just in case, you for some reason gamma or have a normal monster. There's not too many normal monsters in this deck besides maybe the Cypher and maybe something else that I'm forgetting. But yeah, Link Spiders just in case. Almirage, Link Karibo, and Link Decoder are your like generic links. This is one normal summon monster with 1,000 or less attack. So this is like any hand trap normally. This and this pretty much do the exact same thing. It's just that this gives you more follow-up in a combo if you go into transcode or anything over 2300. So like transcode, decode talker, heat zone, Access Code Talker, Dark Fluid, and Singularity. If you go into any one of those cards with Transcode Talker brings itself back. So that's why that's in there. Lingerivo is just more of like a generic, okay, I need the link to get into Parallel Exceed. But like, this is also good. Like you saw in the one time I did it, I went to it last, and I was able to have something that if they activate a trap, I can negate it. So it has its uses for sure. We all know what Splash Mage does. Link to Splash Mage goes in to grab something that you used as a material for it, bring it back. That gets you into Transcode Talker. G Golem Crystal Heart. Normally you go in for this around the end of your combo if you're trying to go into Firewall Dragon Singularity normally. This will bring back Transcode, and you need another material to then go into Singularity. Transcode Talker, Transcode you go into after Splash Mage. Transcode gets you, normally I bring back Splash Mage, and then you normally have another card, and then that is 3, 5, and then one other card is 6. Oh no, 3, yeah, 3, 5, but you need another one because this requires 3 cybers. So yeah, you need this, and another card to then go into the Dark Fluid. Deco Talker Heat Soul is normally what you go into after Dark Fluid. If you can't go into Singularity, you go into this to draw a card. Access Code Talker, you know, if you can go into Access Code to like pop cards on the field, just a good Link 2 or Link 4, but it only needs 2 effect monsters. And like we said, Dark Fluid went over his effects. Negate any monster effects activated during the battle phase, which normally never comes up. You can send a Cyber monster from your deck or extra deck to a grave, and if you do, this card gains the attribute of that monster sent to the grave, and it also gains 2500 attack. And you can only activate this once per turn. This card can attack monsters a number of times each battle phase, up to the number of different attributes it has. So it has that bonus effect of attacking multiple times depending on what attribute it has. And then Singularity, you can target cards your opponent controls or in their graveyard up to the number of different card types: Ritual, Fusion, Synchro, Exceed. Return them to hand. Also, this card gains 500 for each return card. So normally, like I said, you're normally gonna be sending this one, maybe this one, but normally like say if you didn't want to do what I normally do and send Dotscaper when you have Dark Fluid, you could send the Save Worm a turn early, since you don't need to activate this immediately. This just has to be in the graveyard. This one you could save for turn 2 when it's your opponent's turn if you go turn 1, and then this will give you the monster negate whenever you send it. That's one way you could look at it. Otherwise, normally what I end up with is 1 bounce back, and then 2 if I go Version and have that engraved. Maybe 2 if you have Aggregator, but yeah, normally you just maximum in my scenarios you end up with like 2 bounces, which isn't the worst thing for sure. That was Super Factorial, and if you've used Dark Fluid or not can be really good. What's the other part of this effect? If a monster this card points to is destroyed by battle or sent to grave, you can target 1 Cyber's monster in your graveyard, special summon it. Normally I'll go into like G Golem or something. I don't know normally what you want to go into afterwards, because I normally don't really have like any good Cyberses in grave. So that's maybe something you could try to expand upon, but I don't know. And that's it. That's all the cards in the deck. Let me know down below, besides the playing more circulars for sure. Let me know of anything else that maybe you think I should add, maybe should take out. Let me know y'all opinions. I'm new to Mathmech completely. This was just a deck that I got help building, and you know, Mathmech's a good deck, so they were like, yeah, you should try this, and I'm like, alright, I'll try it. I had more fun with it than I thought I would, and I like some of the uses of it, but it's just, I don't know, it's just a weird deck for me to play. But let me know how y'all feel down below. Let me know if you're going to play Mathmech in the future. Let me know if you like the deck list. And I'll see y'all next video. Like the video, subscribe if you're new. See y'all next time. Peace.
Little baby, you out, you know you was wrong. You lying, watch your tone. I'm too